he pointed out why I hate white women so much, bro. Because I feel like what. Oh, wait. I don't hate white women. Hold on, okay, hold on. Guys, calm down. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 92 of the Empty Opinions podcast with Eladio Polanco. My name is Eladio Polanco. This week I have YouTuber Dion Stewart, aka Not a Critic, on the podcast, and instead of doing a typical conversational episode, we do a spoiler-filled review of Season 2 of The Boys on Amazon Prime Video. This is one of my favorite shows of the year so far, and I just had to geek out over it with him. So this is your spoiler alert. Go watch the show ASAP and come back to join us for our discussion of this second season. Trust me, you won't regret it. And make sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel and follow him on all his social medias. The links for all that are in the description of this episode. Also, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Eladio Talks, ELADIO Talks, as well as the brand at My Empty Opinions to know what is happening in the Empty Opinions universe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, hello. Please leave a 5-star rating. I will really appreciate it. And if you leave a review, I will read that review at the end of every episode, so this way you can be a part of the podcast. And finally, if you're watching on YouTube, hello. Please make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit the notification bell to know when new videos come out. Like this video if you like this video. Comment your favorite part of this episode down below, and share it with your friends if you think they might also enjoy it. But that's enough of me talking. I've been talking way too damn much. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this episode. You ready to start? You ready to go? Any questions? Any further inquiries that you have before we start?
Oh, let's keep going.
Oh shit! Hold on, you can't even hear yourself.
Say.
There you go.
All right, it's good.
All right, that's good. All right, we can start then. Let's fucking go.
Welcome to
Who
the
says
Empty
that?
Opinions podcast.
Oh, that's what's his name? Who says? Fuck, I forget the guy that made the reacts videos.
But
Big
like,
Quint.
Wait, who?
Big Quint.
Big Quinn.
Remember, you know the fat black guy that
Oh,
reacts to
yeah,
music?
yeah.
Let's fucking go. Like, that's what he does.
Yeah.
All right. We're starting. This is what episode is this? Episode 93, I believe. Or 92.
Something like that.
I don't fucking remember. It's been a whole lot of episodes. That's how we started this episode, you know what I mean? With a little Dominican flavor. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
feel it.
Are you Caribbean at all?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Do you know like your ethnicity? Do you know?
I'm trying to find that out.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as much as you know, you're just black.
Yeah, that's basically
yeah. That's. I feel. I mean, yeah. Are you trying to do like that 23andMe shit or?
Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Or are you asking like your family, like trying to find out? Like, did you ask your mom? Like, have you asked your mom? Like, hey, mom.
Look, the only thing she told me is that I'm like Cherokee. That's it.
Whoa. So you're Native American?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. You know what's so crazy? Like literally before we started doing this podcast, I was in a class and there was this guy talking about how he was, half black, half Cherokee. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Damn. Are you trying to get in touch with your Native American side?
I gotta find out if it's official first.
Right. So that you might just be like, I think we're Cherokee.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
basically
Like my great grandfather might have fucked a Native American chick, and maybe that's where you're from. Who knows? Okay, that makes sense. All right, look, this episode is gonna be a little different in that I kind of just want to talk about shit that I'm watching and listening to. Usually for the main podcast, I try to like make it, I guess, like deeper conversations. But I'm at a point where like I recently was looking at this clip. I posted this clip from an old episode where I was just asking the guest if he sucked toes or not. Like my friend CD. Yeah.
Sucking toes?
Yeah. I asked him. I was like, yo, you suck toes? And it was really funny. And it was like episode 15. It was very early on. And I was just like, let's just go back to the roots and just ask people if they suck toes or not, or like.
That's interesting.
No, not that. I mean,
yeah,
I just mean like basic, like, let me not overthink this shit. Let's just have a conversation because, the more I've upgraded, the more I feel like I want to make this like a premium product. You know what I mean? But I feel like, let me just talk about shit. You know what I mean? Let's talk about fucking season 2 of The Boys.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. I mean, All right, so yeah, that's what this episode is gonna be about. Just shit that I've been watching. You know, maybe some pop culture shit. We might talk a little bit of basketball because you're a big basketball fan, and you know,
Big fan.
It's been a lot of shit happening. We're both Sixers fans and realize how much it's sucking right now, but the possibility of it being better. I mean, there's a lot of shit I want to kind of talk to you about. Introducing personalized listening with iOS 14 and iPad. Apple just sent me an email for their podcast app. Looks like Apple knows they need to fucking start doing shit with their podcast. It's kind of crazy how every iPhone has had that fucking podcast app. That shit wasn't even big. Why the fuck did Apple have a podcast player since the very first iPhone? Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't even understand that.
Yeah. Did you see the event?
No, but I saw they announced the new iPhones. I mean, who gives a fuck? I mean, does anybody even care about getting the new iPhones anymore?
Bro, it basically looked the same as
the
old iPhone.
I feel like people stopped giving a fuck about iPhones after iPhone 10. Like iPhone 10, I don't know, iPhone X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. iPhone X came out. It's like, oh, this is the new fancy iPhone. And then they've all kind of looked the same since. So now I don't even think people give a fuck if like, yo, I got the iPhone 11X fucking Plus or whatever the fuck they want to call it, a Pro Plus, whatever.
Bro, I still got the same iPhone for like 4 years.
Yeah, I got an iPhone 8 and I have no need to change it.
Yeah.
The only problem is when you get to a point where you're like, I need to update my iPhone, and then that's where they fuck you. Yeah. That's where it gets really slow, and then that's a problem, and then you're just like, fuck me. I might need to get a new iPhone because I just fucked up my iPhone. Dion, what's your last name?
Stewart.
Dion Stewart's in the fucking podcast.
I'm also known as a critic. Not a critic.
Not a critic. I was about to say, you made it clear that you're not a critic, bro. You can just call yourself a critic now. Yeah. Really not a critic on Instagram, right?
Yeah, on Instagram, and not a critic on
Twitter.
On Twitter, I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, not a critic. Just put that in there. He's not a critic, like I said. You almost alienated your whole fan base by saying you're a critic. I don't know if you knew that, but as soon as you say I'm a critic, I bet you
know what?
All your fans were like, wait, what? I thought you were not a critic. Like, that's what they were thinking in their heads. But yeah, you've recently started your YouTube channel. You put a lot of fucking content in there, you know, reviews, reactions, you know, all that shit. And your editing, bro, is my favorite type of editing.
Oh,
it's great edit. It's fucking funny, bro. It's that kind of editing. Like, do you remember when I was trying to ask you how much to edit one of my videos? Because I mean, that's the kind of edit in my head that I want to do. But I'm just so busy right now. I cannot start fucking around with the dissolves and the fucking moving the shit in and trying to motion track a face on something. And I don't even understand memes that well. You know what I mean? The best kind of. I think I made 2 memes when I was 15. Like that shit where you put the caption and there's a picture on it.
Right.
It was I remember trying to do that, and those memes were fucking trash. Ever since then, you know what's so crazy, bro? Can I tell you what's so crazy? Mm-hmm. Nowadays, if you want to be a successful content creator, you need to use memes. You need to know how they work, you need to understand them, and you need to make them. Yeah. Because that's what goes viral, right? So, if you make a... you see all these videos... you know, RDC World is doing, World, right? Long Beach Griffey, Caleb City. Those are all, you know, they're sketches, but it's technically a meme. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you kind of have to do that now. And I don't know how to do that, but you know, and that's why you're going to have a fucking very successful YouTube channel. And in that YouTube channel, you talk about shit that you watch. And for this episode, we're going to talk about shit that we've watched. And mainly, I want to talk about season 2 of The Boys. We both saw it. Recently, the finale came out. This is going to be a spoiler alert. Do I have a sound for spoiler alert? Let me see. I don't think so. Let's do this. This is the sound for spoiler alert. It just completely doesn't make sense. I just have random sounds here. You know what I mean? That one's pretty useful, actually. Thunder, I don't know why. Foghorn, glass break. It's just random shit. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have a regular alarm?
Alarm?
Yeah.
No. That's what's crazy about it. I mean, come on. That should be one of the fucking maybe I have this.
Alright, that's cool.
I guess that works. That might work.
Yeah,
you know, spoiler alert, it might be also racist. You know what's crazy? I've never had an Asian guest on my podcast, but whenever I do, I would play that sound effect. To start off the show.
Oh wow. Man.
Yo, people will be so fucking mad. Talking about being mad, actually, before we get to The Boys season 2, I've been practicing accents.
Oh, okay. What accents do you practice?
All of them. So throw me an accent, and then I'm gonna do it. And you know, the reason I'm doing this segment is because I want to get canceled before I'm even popular. So I'm gonna do the most racist fucking accents. Let's see if you know what it is. I mean, the thing about accents, bro. If you think about it, is it racist if it's accurate?
It depends how you sound.
That's why this is gonna be a tightrope walk.
Yeah.
But I just think, you know, if you're trying to actually sound like those people, I don't think that should be racist, right? Like, what makes an accent racist? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, you know, let's go with this. Is we just played the gong sound, right? Like a typical Asian person. You know, if you start, let me try to do a Chinese impersonation.
All right, I'm preparing myself.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm gearing up. I'm trying to think because I think I tried to do that like earlier this week. Like, let me see if I can do this. Actually, no. Let's go with something less racist, but still kind of. No, let's go with something that nobody gives a fuck about. A British accent. I mean, you could do a British accent. Nobody's gonna say you're racist. You know what I mean? So, let me do a British accent. Bro, I was about to say hello, governor. Which is the most racist. I mean, nobody gives a fuck about racism towards British people. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Nobody cares.
Is it racist to say you're British or sounding British? Because
if you do if I say hello, governor, that's very racist. But we don't see it that way because it doesn't matter. You know what I was thinking, bro? Actually, I think almost every other accent is sexy besides like a Hispanic accent. Hello, like a Mexican. Hello, bro. How you doing, bro? You doing good? Right, like that.
How they sound.
To me, that's how they sound. Yeah. But like, I was just thinking about that like a long time ago. I was thinking like the only accent that's not sexy is like the Hispanic accent. Or maybe I'm wrong. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Because women fight like Spanish guys, like that accent, like Spanish. What's it? How do they do the accent? With the F, right? Like they have the lisp. Like, oh, welcome to España. My name is Eladio Blanco. Like, right? Like, some women find that sexy. I don't remember what accent was it that I was thinking that was like, if you do it, people think you're stupid.
That sounded like the dude from Napoleon Dynamite.
What I just did?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Wait, have I? Napoleon? I think I've seen it, but like when I was like 7. I don't even remember. I think it was playing on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
That's where I think I saw it.
Yeah, it was Napoleon Dynamite and his best friend.
That's where you saw like some titties, right? You saw titties. There was titties in that movie, no?
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on, no. I think I'm thinking the wrong movie, bro.
Which one movie are you talking about?
I think I'm thinking of the blaxploitation movie. Are you talking about the white awkward guy?
Yes.
That's not the movie I'm thinking. I'm thinking of the blaxploitation.
Oh, you're talking about Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite. Okay.
Yeah, all right, we're talking about two different things. All right, never mind.
Have you seen Black Dynamite?
I saw bits and pieces.
I think the 80s one. There was a scene where it was like they showed these titties to this woman. That's when I knew I was straight. I was like 5. I was like, I love these titties, and I was like, okay, that was like my sexual awakening. Never seen Napoleon Dynamite. Is that funny? Is that a good movie? It
is definitely funny.
It is? Okay. Because apparently this like polarizing. No? Like the movie's like polarizing?
I don't think I ever heard someone say it's bad. It's just really funny.
Well, I think it's the type of humor. I think certain people find it polarizing.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Certain people probably don't find it funny.
People have their preference.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. That's all I know about it. I've never seen it. There's a lot of shit I haven't seen, but one thing that I have seen is The Boys Season 2. Let me go back to that.
All right.
You know, I tried my hardest to like be super offensive and I just couldn't do it. I tried to fucking do an accent. Where the fuck did that come from? Like, I'm trying to have fun. Look, here's the thing with this podcast. Like, now I'm fucking tired of this like fucking weird box that I put myself in where like now I have to try to make it interesting. I'm done with that, bro. Like now I'm just going to have fun. I'm just going to invite random people and just talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about, which is how this podcast started. Like I recently tried to put myself in this corner like I want to have more like intellectual people. I want to have like adults on the podcast, like more mature people. I said, you know what? Fuck that. You know what I mean? I'm just going to talk about whatever the fuck I'm going to talk about. And I want to talk about The Boys Season 2 because that season was fucking amazing. So again, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. We're gonna talk about The Boys season 2 and spoiler details. What did you think of the ending? Let's talk about the ending first because that's the thing that's on my mind. I've seen no less than 20 reaction videos on YouTube about the season finale because it has to be one of the better season finales I think I've ever seen, like ever.
I definitely agree, and yeah, the ending really surprised me. Oh, this is spoiler, right? Of course, it's spoiler. Well, that government lady, what's her face?
Victoria Newman.
Yeah, Victoria Newman. She's one of the soups that has the power to explode people, and it just caught me off guard. Like I thought it would be the host of the church. I thought it would be him, but it ended up being Victoria Newman the whole time. So that was really one of the best endings for a TV.
Yeah, that was one of the most shocking. Yeah, for sure. Because everybody, I think they wanted you to think of like the church, like especially with the Fresca shit. I think that was a red herring, obviously.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, oh, here's a Fresca. Here's a Fresca. It was like there's definitely something in that Fresca. There still might be, but I think they did that shit on purpose to plant this seed for theories like, oh, the church, they're gonna be like the big bad in next season.
Right.
Or like they're the ones that are working behind the scenes, and then no, the fucking heads explodes. One of the better twists I think I've ever seen in my life. Like what? Like anybody who sees that is like what? Like they just don't they don't believe it. It's completely out of left field. But besides that, I definitely enjoyed the twist. But I think the thing that got me the most is just how emotional I got.
Yeah.
Like it was definitely it was way more of emotional of an ending than you would think for The Boys, because I don't remember ever being on the fucking verge of tears with this show. You know what I mean? Like it's always been like a edgy show. It's always been very violent. It's always been like, you know, kind of smart in its depiction. But I've never. That's like a new gear it unlocked, and I think that's why it's so good. It's like, oh, now we're like gonna cry about these characters, and I think just the way that played out, right, with the mom Becca dying and the son killing her. It's like it's almost like, and this is my favorite thing about all shows, it's like it all comes back in a very satisfying way, because if you think about it, how did the season start it, or what was one of the things we find out early, like episode 3 or 4, episode 4 I think, that she said that she would kill herself if Homelander tried to take her kid away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're correct.
And you know, that kind of thing is basically foreshadowing. She didn't kill herself, but she did die when Homelander tried to take the kid away. You know what I mean? So that played out. I mean, those mics pick up anything, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's the thing that was shocking. It was like there's a lot of stuff that came back around in ways you wouldn't expect. Like even when Becca, like this is just smart writing. Like even when Becca finds where Butcher is staying at, right? He tells her that early in the beginning of the season when they first meet.
Yeah.
He tells her, yeah, I've been staying like in the bunker of this, you know, pawn shop in New York. Even that, you think that's just like throwaway dialogue, but even that comes back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just everything they did this season. Here's a major complaint that I've seen a lot of people talk about this season. That like Homelander, like everybody was disrespecting Homelander this season. Like he wasn't as big of a force.
No, I disagree.
I disagree. Well, they were saying basically because a lot of people were like stepping up to him. Like you saw Stormfront obviously like challenging him. Right. You saw obviously the fact that the Butcher kind of walked away with the kid, right? Maeve stepping up to him. Like a lot of people were kind of stepping up to him, but I think. Why do you disagree that he wasn't as big, as scary as he was? That's the thing that a lot of people are saying, that he wasn't as scary in season 2 as he was in season 1. Why do you disagree?
I disagree because his presence alone is just intimidating.
Yeah.
Like the first, I think, was it the first episode when they met that Daredevil kid?
Bro, I think people forgot about that scene.
Yeah.
The people who are, I think because it's very early in the season, obviously, so much happens. But yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah.
That was crazy, bro. Like this motherfucker's like bleeding pools of blood. I was like, what?
But look, before that, right?
Yeah.
He just being all like friendly and corporate and all that.
Yeah.
With his assistant. And he's like, oh, hey, kid.
Yeah, you know? Being all nice and shit. It's like, tell him, was like, you know, you represent what we want out of superheroes in this world. And the kid is about to cry. It's like, this is such a big compliment, especially coming from you.
And when he was like, questioned, I was like, oh shit.
Man. Yeah, it's fucking, that's such a crazy scene.
Yeah.
Like, to this depth. And, I mean, to be honest, kind of right. The fact that all his powers are just completely gone as soon as he does this, boop.
Yeah.
I get it from a fucked up standpoint, but it's still very fucked up. This motherfucker just did boop. Do you think he could come back in some way, shape, or form?
With the Daredevil kid?
Yeah. I think they're going to use him later on in the season. Because that's another thing. I was seeing like a predictions video on YouTube. And they were kind of laying down that like they have a plan for 5 seasons. And I think they're doing a very good job at playing the long game. You know what I mean? I think they're doing a slow burn with a lot of different things. Because apparently in the comics, you know, it's very different. Like in the comics, apparently like from the jump, the boys have Compound V. And they're also superheroes. And I'm seeing a lot of people like, you know, they should be doing that. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That the thing that makes this show interesting is it's so grounded. How the fuck do you try to take down superheroes if you don't have superpowers, right?
Right.
I think that's very interesting. If you just have superheroes fighting,
That'd be boring.
that's Arrow. You know what I mean? Like that. Go watch Arrow if you want that shit. But this is actually interesting, like blackmailing a Superman type. How do you do that? And that's another thing they did beautifully, showing how much Homelander needs the attention. Even and here's the thing, this is why I have trust in this show, and I think they're doing just a slow burn, and by the time they get to season 5, it's going to be like all out war, and it's going to be perfect, right? Because in the beginning, you kind of want to build up to that, right? So like by the time, if in season 5, all the boys start taking Compound V, I wouldn't be mad at it because it's like it makes sense with the progression of the show. If they started off season 1 with that, it was like, okay, I mean, where the fuck else could the show go after this? But so they're laying the groundwork for a lot of crazy shit to happen in the future. And the thing that made me realize that was when we saw that like dream sequence of Homelander lasering the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Did you think that was real when you saw it?
No, I didn't think it was real.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it did. Because, I mean, that's the thing about... And that's another thing why this show is so good. Is I feel like it has you on edge the whole time.
Yes.
Like, this show has done a perfect job. It reminds me of Game of Thrones that way, where you feel like anybody could die or things can go wrong at any minute. And so it gives you that, like... you're on edge. You're always like, anytime something is too calm, it's like something fucked up is going to happen. Things are going to go wrong. You know what I mean? Like... It's so that when I saw that, I was like, oh, like I fully bought it, and I was like, okay, because the show has already done shit like that where you're like, oh, they went for it, right?
Yeah,
like
because they set it up on season 1,
right?
Yeah.
Season 1 when he kills Madeline Stillwell,
yeah.
That was the fucking moment where you're like, oh, anything can happen in this show. You know, you're thinking, oh, this is the weakness, right? If you're following, like, fucking typical movies or TV shows, it's like, oh, he's finally found his weakness, right? That's his kryptonite. You know what I mean? Like
that's equivalent to Ned Stark dying at the end of...
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. And now, and that continues the Game of Thrones shit. It's like, you're like, okay, now the doors are wide open. Now anything can happen.
Right.
If the weakness, quote-unquote, weakness of Homelander is now dead, Homelander has no weakness. How the fuck do you beat him?
Right.
And the thing I found interesting about the way the season ended, they did find his weakness, but it's only temporary. You know what I mean? Because there's only going to be for so long where Homelander's going to be like, I want the adoration. It's obvious, right? They're setting it up. It's going to come to a point where he says, fuck it. I don't need that no more. Because he did that with Madeline Stillwell.
Right.
Right? Like at a certain point, he's just going to get bored of that. So... people could be complaining like, oh, that's how they get him, was like blackmail by his attention. Listen, that's a temporary thing. Like, he could easily get bored of people's attentions and just go crazy. And that's what's going to happen near, like, the latter part of the show. If they get to season 4 and season 5, that's what's going to happen.
Right.
That's where all hell is going to break loose. As soon as Homelander, and that's the tension, right? As soon as Homelander says, fuck it, that's when you know, oh, fuck. Now you gotta scale it up. Now the boys have to use Compound V. You know what I mean? Now they have to, and now it makes sense. But now we're all just gonna be like on the edge of our seats. Like, what is gonna be the moment where he says "fuck it"? Right? Because that's what he keeps doing. There's certain points where he just says "fuck it." What are the things that you enjoy about season 2?
I enjoy. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you can go ahead. I'm just trying to.
Well, I asked you because I wanted to take a sip of water. You know what I'm saying?
Gosh.
I wanted to drink, so I just wanted to throw it up to you. It's like, here you go, hot potato, bitch. You know, you figure something out. I don't care if this is that air or not, honestly. So, you know, take your time.
I think I like that they went into Frenchie this season. Yeah, they talk about his backstory and how he joins the boys and why he's acting the way he act.
Yeah, for sure. I think
Frenchie is really interesting.
He is, yeah, for sure. I think the background and almost all the characters they did it with. Mother's Milk. I love this episode. Do you remember his episode when they go on their road trip to try to find out about Liberty? Right. It's funny because if you think about it, characters definitely had their episode.
Yeah.
Frenchie had his episode. Butcher had his episode. So here's the thing. Here's how I see it, right? And I think it's beautiful how they did it because you don't even notice. It's like, because certain shows are like Lost or whatever. Any type of show that's like, oh, it's this character's episode now. We're gonna do it like The Leftovers did that a lot. It was like,
they did.
This is gonna be a full episode for this character. What I find interesting is that they managed to do that, but not as obvious, right? So like episode the day where they go on the road trip, that was Mother's Milk episode. But we don't realize that, right? We just think, oh, they're going on this mission. And then it turns into Mother's Milk backstory, right? Frenchie, when they go, like episode 6, that was when they go to the psychiatrist place.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best episodes of the whole show, and definitely this season. Bro, when Sydney comes out, it's like, boop, and then this fucking motherfucker explodes into shit. I was like, oh, this show is wild. Bro. And then she starts opening the doors, and it's like, oh, that's what I love about the show, bro. They go there. Like, shit, it felt like some shit you wouldn't even see. Not necessarily the exploding body, but just the fact that all these superheroes are now let out.
Bro, they have a superpower dude that stretches his
fucking dick. Big ass dick. Yeah, it's like choking Mother's Milk with it. That was.
Bro, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's wild. But what I'm trying to say is that
go ahead.
The thing that is underrated about the show is the character moments that they're able to get out of very. Like, if you think about how much shit we learned this season about the characters, we get background on Frenchie, right? Mother's Milk, Butcher, Kimiko, yes, Kimiko. With the brother at the very beginning of the season. Yeah, you forget, but that definitely revealed a lot. We learned about a lot. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, they literally just delve deeper into all the boys because I just said Frenchie, Mother's Milk, Kimiko, Starlight, and Huey.
Huey, yeah.
That was actually one of my favorite moments of the whole season, though, when we start learning about like why Huey is the way he is. Like in the last episode when they're driving, I thought that was very touching. You know what I mean?
When he was talking about his mother.
Yeah, I mean everything, and that's the thing about it. It makes everything make sense, right? Like if you think about it, like now he has like abandonment issues, right? Then that makes a thing with the girlfriend even more fucked up. To me, if you think about it, you're suddenly out of his life now, second person, right? It makes sense why he's so like clingy, right? Like why he's so like jealous. Like a lot of his issues make sense. When you realize that his mother kind of left. You want to hear a theory that I read? Apparently, people are trying to suggest Huey could secretly be a superhero. His powers haven't activated, and the reason his mother left is because the dad was trying to inject him with Compound V. And the mom was like, I don't agree with this. Which is a complete parallel of what happened with Starlight. Right. Remember? We find out that Starlight, like the mom was like, that was actually why your dad left. You know what I mean? It wasn't because of rent, like he owed money to whatever. It's because he disagreed with her getting injected with Compound V. Right. That would actually be the best way to go around having one of the boys have superpowers. Yeah. Because then it will be kind of thing similar to what was happening with Ryan, where he had to like actually train to get his powers out. It wouldn't be right away. This motherfucker would just be flying and like lasering. He would be trying to activate it. That's gonna be a cool ass scene in season 4 or season 5, season 3, wherever, where he like probably has to like Starlight is about to die, right? And like he all of a sudden does something. What would be Huey's superpower?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what do you think his power would be?
What if it turns out to be? Because I think this is another thing that's great about the show. This show does red herrings and like misdirection a lot. Right. I think they're trying to get us to think that the end of the show is gonna be Ryan versus Homelander. Like the kid versus the dad. Like I think that's what they want us to believe. What if it's, and this would make sense because this season, do you remember the beginning of season 2? Hugh is like, I want to be John Connor, like somebody who's regular but turns out to be fucking awesome, right? I think it would be really cool if the person who actually has to fight Homelander is Huey. How crazy would that be?
That'd be crazy.
If Huey is this, Bro, that's giving
Yup.
me chills if I
Yeah,
think
that'd
about
be
it. Like,
wild.
Huey is the guy that has to save humanity. And that would complete that. That's like foreshadowing. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
I
would
wanna-
make sense.
It would, because right, if you think
Yeah.
about Huey, like even he said it, it's like he's kind of fucking useless. He doesn't really do shit. So that would be the best way to complete that. Is like, turns out this guy who's people, don't think he can do shit. Turns out to be the guy who can only stop Homelander. I think I figured out the end of this fucking show, bro. Just
Yeah.
now, I think that's the best storytelling way they can figure it out. Now I'm kind of mad because I kind of spoiled it for myself. But
Spoiler for everyone too.
spoiler for the end of the show. I have no doubt that's how the show's gonna end. So if you're mad at me, you can't really be mad at me because it's a prediction. But I'm 100% right, so you can. Okay. I want you to talk about other aspects of the season in general that you enjoyed. I'm gonna go change something with the camera.
Okay, so I would say I like. Well, I hate and like Stormfront. Stormfront is
she's crazy.
yeah, she's one of the most interesting characters in the sense that at first you like the way she is. She gives you a good impression, and you're like, oh, she's all right. Like, she's all right. She's okay. She's cool. She all about female empowerment. There's another female in the group. I'm like, yeah, all right, go ahead, Stormfront. And then she like catches Kimiko and her brother, and I was like, oh, okay, she's doing what she has to do. She's part of the group.
Right.
And then it turns to a 180, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Wait, I want to talk about that. Hold on. Yeah, I
Like-
definitely want to talk more about like that moment where like, oh shit. And I want to know what point did you figure out that she was racist?
I figured.
Well, let me tell you, because I feel
Okay,
like
go ahead.
this moment is interesting because I feel like. Hold on, let me get in the mic to say this because this is important. Listen, I think the thing about Stormfront, and the thing not just Stormfront, but just in general, I feel like black people have a spidey sense when it comes to racism, right? And this is very interesting because I feel like there was a lot of black people watching the show that only black people would have realized she was racist at that moment, right? The moment that I'm talking about is the moment where she electrocutes the black dad,
Yeah.
and then the black kids, right? I didn't see that as like racist when I first saw it, and and a lot of people probably didn't see it as racist because unless you're like black, I feel like you're only able to tell. Okay, this is because don't you feel like that's the thing? Is like don't you have like a spidey sense when like if a white person's being prejudiced,
Yeah.
that it's not obvious but you can feel it. Like you can feel somebody's being racist, right? Like, and that's the thing that really only kind of black people can experience that. So I bet you a lot of black people were watching the show and saw her doing that to the dad and the kids. Like, oh, this bitch is fucking racist. And then a lot of other people were watching the shows like, oh, damn, she's a villain. They didn't realize she was racist because they're not seeing it from that lens. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that from my point of view, I'm like, she's racist.
As
She
soon as
killing
you
all
saw
the-
that,
yeah,
you
as
know
soon as I saw
why.
that.
It's just a sense, right? It's just like a feeling.
Yeah,
Because at that point, we don't realize this is like the projects.
right.
We only see that they crash into this random house. It's only later as you continue to see, okay, there's that black guy coming down the steps. It's also black. Then you see this building, and then you see her obviously say, fucking yellow bastard, right? When she says that, you for sure know.
Yeah, that confirms it.
Yeah, at
That
that point,
confirms it.
everybody should know. It's almost like a 3-step reveal. You know about those?
Yeah.
It's like the subtle, the not so subtle, and then the obvious to get people to get it right. Like depending on how how much attention you're paying, that's how you could tell. So I feel like most black people were like, she's racist. She killed those 3 black people, right?
Yep.
Then the random mailman is black also. I think he was a mailman, and then he dies as well.
Yeah.
I think most people were
He
like,
got thrown out the building.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then most people are like, okay, that's 4 black people now. Might be racist. And then obviously the fucking the hammer on the nail, the racial slur.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was you know what's funny? Actually, did you know that she was gonna be racist before?
I did not.
I s-
Well, I had like a hint of it because they were talking about Stormfront the name,
Right.
and I was like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I actually spoiled it for myself when I was reading like Reddit shit.
Oh.
That apparently the character in the comics is racist, and the theory was that because she's a guy in the comics.
Yeah.
A lot of the women on the show are like guys in the comics, which is strange. It's really weird. It's like most of the characters, like Victoria Newman is a guy, Madeline Stillwell is a guy, Stormfront is a guy. It's weird. They change a lot of those characters, like genders. I'm not mad at it because I'm not misogynist.
Yeah,
sexist, so I have no problem with them. Fucking make it all women. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
I don't mind them.
So, but basically, I did kind of spoil it for myself. Like, oh, she's gonna be like this hip and cool feminist who's gonna be a racist. The only thing that bothered me, the only thing that I think is a little bit of a plot hole, the idea of a white feminist being a fucking Nazi. It's interesting, and they didn't really explore it after it was found out she was a Nazi. She stopped like all the female empowerment bullshit after that.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was kind of like, oh damn, okay. I would have loved for her to still be doing the female empowerment shit and people be conflicted like, oh man, right? Because I feel like they laid so heavily into the racist Nazi side that I think everybody forgot that she was a feminist.
Because you remember I talked about it with you, like earlier, and I was like, it's interesting that they use this white woman, who are usually the front runners of female empowerment, and sometimes like you hear from other black women, they be like they're using their like ethnicity, and using it for their own agendas. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you know what's so funny? Very relevant to the recent Bill Burr Saturday Night Live thing. Did you remember that? Right, yeah.
Where he like came at white women like, man, fuck y'all, like fuck white women. They jumped over the oppression fucking gate. Yeah. Bro, the part where he says, if you wanted to hook up with a random black guy, you would just say it was not consensual. Yeah. That's such a fucking funny and crazy like realization. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, y'all did as much racist shit as all white people were doing back then. Yeah. And now y'all like up front. That's the thing that I think he pointed out why I hate white women so much, bro. Because I feel like what wait. I don't hate white women. I don't hate white women. Yeah, let me relax. I don't listen. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to hold on. Okay, hold on. Guys, calm down. I am not saying I'm not trying to say that I hate white women. And something I've noticed about white women is that I think they're the most privileged group ever. Because if you think about this, and this was another observation from somebody else that I don't even remember, but they said there's something about white women that nobody wants to see them cry or hurt. They're like the one group in the world that people get uncomfortable when they start crying. Have you thought about that?
No, I haven't.
But that is very true, bro. Like whenever you see a white woman crying, people get like uncomfortable. They get weird. It's like, oh, what's going on? It's like, maybe not now because of crazy Karens, but Karens. I mean, white women are taking a beating this year with Karens and now Bill Burr. Like people do not give a fuck about white women no more, and I say great. I'm joking, man. I think I have a little bit of some resentment towards white women because none of them swipe me right on Tinder.
You don't have one against Taylor Swift, right?
No, not really.
All right, because I love Taylor Swift.
Oh, well, like her music. Yeah. As a person, I just think she's like fine. I just think she's very perfect. I don't like perfect. Like polished, perfect and polished. You know what I'm trying to say though? It's like very pristine.
Yeah, because you gotta have something that's like wrong.
I don't know. I like people who are honest. Right? It feels like she's fake to me.
No, I got you.
You know what I mean? There's gotta be something that's like not likable about her. You know what I mean? Like I hate those people who are like they're always very happy and everything is great. It's like, come on. I mean, you got something that's not right. You know, we all do. We all have qualities that are not good. Right. I hate when like people try to pretend that that's not true. But I mean, people have trouble with Taylor Swift though, with the whole Kanye West thing. Yeah, bro, Kanye is a wild boy for saying, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous. I think we need to start to think about how crazy that line is. Yeah. Bro, he said, hold on, let me repeat the line. Because you really got to think about it. Like, I was listening to the song with Rihanna, Famous, like, listening back on it, and this motherfucker really said, Kanye West, one of the biggest artists in the world, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why I Made That Bitch Famous. He's talking about Taylor Swift, one of the biggest pop artists of all time.
That's wild.
Kanye West is a wild boy.
Wild.
To say that in a song?
Yeah.
Bro, what? In a song that was popular, too. I think a lot of that, I think the song itself didn't get that much flack because at that time Kanye was wilding and the rollout of The Life of Pablo was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But if that song would have come out under, like, if you were to put out that song now, or during a time where he wasn't acting as crazy and everything was, like, regular, bro, that has to be one of the craziest lines in a song I think I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to say it again for the third time, because I really want anybody who's listening to this to really think about this line. Let's think about this, right? Kanye said, and obviously if you don't know the history, he, like, stole her fucking Grammy. It was like, they should have gone to Beyonce. So their you know, hostility came from that. But this motherfucker said, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Let's stop there. Saying you want to fuck a very famous artist, as you yourself being one of the biggest artists, also being married. Let's think about that. Kanye's married with Kim Kardashian. Yeah. And this motherfucker saying, I want to fuck. No, I think I can still fuck Taylor Swift.
Yo, Kanye different.
Bro, you gotta think about it though. Like, who would say something like that? Like, imagine if Drake, and I'm not saying like we could get together or like flirting with a certain artist, right? Like, you see Drake doing that with a lot of women. Like, you know, me and Jennifer Lopez were like dating. You know, me and SZA were dating. Drake does that a lot.
Yeah.
But Drake doesn't say, I want to fuck Jennifer Lopez.
Right.
Kanye literally said, I want to fuck Taylor Swift. Why? I mean, you just don't say that. I mean, it's insane. And then he says, I made that bitch famous, which bitch is a bad word, and women don't want guys saying the word bitch anymore. So him calling Taylor Swift a bitch, and then on top, let's fucking put the cherry on top, saying that he made her famous. Right. Can we talk about that? Did he? When did he take the Grammy? Is he right? Because I was starting to think, when did Shake It Off came out? That was like 2013.
Yeah, that was around that time.
When did he take the Grammy away from her? Was it before Shake It Off came out?
I think it was after Shake It Off.
You sure?
Yeah.
Let me look it up, because I think this might actually solve that riddle. I think, as crazy as Kanye is, he might be right with that. When did Kanye snatch Taylor Swift is... I can't fucking type because I got one hand on the mic. Taylor Swift's Grammy. Let's see what this says. Because this is going to tell... 2009.
Oh, that was before. Okay.
So that was 4 years before.
All right, when did Shake It Off came out?
2013. I don't even got to look it up. I already know.
Oh, okay.
So, and from what I remember, when Shake It Off came out, that's where Taylor was at her peak. No?
All right.
Like when Shake It Off came out, when I knew you were in trouble when you walked in, like that one, when she put 22, like that was all the same album.
Yeah.
Bro, yeah, Kanye was right.
Yeah.
Because she was a country star at that point, I believe. She wasn't like the pop star that she is now.
Yeah, she was a country star and then she transferred to
pop.
Star. Yeah.
Bro, Kanye did make her famous. Wow. Yeah. Kanye made Taylor Swift famous. Yeah, you heard that here first. Jesus Christ, what a fucking crazy. I mean, I don't even know what we were talking about.
Anyway, Stormfront. I was trying to help you out and trying to transition to Stormfront, but then we got into this Kanye shit and then we was like, all right.
No way, bro. We were talking about Stormfront.
Yeah.
How the fuck did we go from Stormfront?
I don't know. Because I said I love Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah. But why? There was something I said.
No, because you said you hate white women.
Bro, we...
not like
bro,
that.
No, I'm not mad at that. I'm just saying we talked about that. I completely forgot I said, wow.
Yeah.
Bro, that was a journey.
Yeah.
This podcast is worth it just for that journey. I don't remember the last 15 minutes of this podcast. It's completely... I blacked out, bro. I blacked out and went in a tangent and don't even remember what I said Can't wait to go back and listen to it.
Hey, it's free flowing right now.
Yeah, that's what I want this podcast to be. I don't even want to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, but Stormfront, she's one of the most interesting characters, and I'm really curious if she coming back or not, because she got burned up by Ryan.
The rumors or the theories, I mean, they make it clear that she's not dead. They said she's in a holding facility. So Homelander says.
Oh, damn.
At that press conference, he's like, she has been apprehended and is in an undisclosed facility. So they have her. She's not dead.
They should definitely get rid of her.
I don't think they are. I think the theory for that is that she's gonna be like almost like a Hannibal Lecter figure. You know what I mean? Like he's locked up, and there's gonna be villains coming to her for advice.
Oh, okay.
Or she's gonna influence shit from behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Or they're saying like a mecha Nazi. That she might just be like a Darth Vader type.
Oh, okay.
And she's just completely horrendous, like her body, but she gets like robot arms and shit. She becomes a fucking robot Nazi.
Yeah, she do look like Anakin from episode 3.
Yeah, a lot of people pointed that out. That would be so crazy. I mean, this show, that's the thing about the show. They will go there. Yeah. I mean, like a robot Nazi? That sounds like some shit you would only see in The Boys.
Yeah.
So she's not completely dead, but yeah, I mean, you know what's interesting, bro? I was listening to this podcast. These two guys, Bald Move, they cover like TV shows, like after shows.
Right.
And they were talking about, like, somebody sent in an email to them saying that they found it weird that Stormfront never used the N-word.
Yeah, that's true.
And now that I think about it, or like none of her slurs were crazy. Like, it wasn't anything wild. And I was thinking, that's true. Why didn't Stormfront say the N-word? And I feel like she should have. That sounds crazy to say, but I'm just saying, like, it would be in line with her character. I think that would... I think they were afraid to go there. Which is strange for the boys, because they're usually, like, they don't hold back.
Yeah, that or they trying to...
You know what I mean? Like...
They're not trying to make it, like, obvious, like, every racist person says the N-word.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like,
yeah,
more hidden racism.
Yeah, more hidden racism.
But I mean, she was out there, bro. I mean,
yeah, she was definitely out there.
Well, no, I'm not saying she would say it to the black people directly, because that's like the whole thing. It's actually very funny, very interesting, and very modern. Is sarcastic racism, right? It's like, oh, I'm not racist. Why would you ever say that? Or like hinting towards it. And they're like when A-Train tells her, it's like, what the fuck did you just say? She's like, well, nothing. I didn't say nothing.
Bro.
Like, that kind of racism is even worse than what you're... Yeah. Okay, in that point, yeah. But it was just... For somebody who's that racist, like, she's like the most racist fucking person ever. It was interesting that they didn't go there with that.
Bro, she's racist to the point where people think they racist to her race because of her skin. Because you remember
that's some wild racism.
Oh my god! Did you see Homelander?
Did you use that as a meme? You must have used that, right?
Oh, I didn't get a chance.
You should. I mean, that's such a perfect meme. Like, materials. Motherfuckers are like, what? Like when she said white genocide, he's like, whoa. Do you think Homelander's racist?
I think he hates everyone.
Yeah, I don't think he's racist towards like specifically racist. I think he just hates everyone.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are under the impression that he is racist. I just think he hates humanity.
Yeah, because he's a god and no one's in his level.
Like, if you think about it, the only person he loves is Ryan. Because Ryan is his kid. Yeah. And he's also of his kin, like the Superman, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't think he's racist towards any real race. It's just everybody. But that's another thing I loved about this show. They gave Homelander heart. You know what I mean? Like, when he's, like, trying to relate with Ryan... Did you believe it? I thought he was...
Yeah, I believe it.
I thought he was being honest.
Yeah.
Obviously, the reason he's doing that is for a nefarious reason. But I think at that moment, he did feel like human.
Yeah. Low-key, Homelander didn't want Ryan to be like him. I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's true. I think he wants him to be a superhero. Right? Like, develop his powers and be another god as he sees himself. Right? But I don't think... Yeah, he definitely doesn't want him to be... like as damaged as he is.
Right.
which could backfire because then if he's not as damaged as Homelander is, then the kid is obviously gonna see this guy's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. This show is just so good because it has so many possibilities. This show, yeah. Go ahead.
We should talk about the well, they always talk about the social commentary with like superheroes and like the way they're like presented through the world. Like, you know how like celebrities and athletes have like the agents.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how these superheroes
Bro,
are.
that's probably one of the most. I mean, that thing we got that from season 1.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that makes this show so unique, I think, and what actually, because I mean, this is not the first show that has done the superheroes, but what if they were real, right? Like Watchmen did it, the comics, like Frank Miller did it, right? Like Zack Snyder, like there's been a lot of people that are trying to be like, what would it really be like if superheroes were real? I think The Boys does the best job at that because those other shows don't take into consideration the real like. They don't take into consideration fucking capitalism.
Yeah.
That's the one thing they all ignore, and that's what makes The Boys so unique. It's like, yeah, they would have agents. They would have fucking movies. They would have all this shit that basically they would be like celebrities, just superheroes, right? Yeah. And I think other shows kind of, even Kick-Ass, which is a pretty like realistic show, I think, movie, even they don't really explore that part of it. So I think that's one of the things that definitely does make this show unique, I think.
Yeah, and it's funny that you talk about Zack Snyder. They reference Zack Snyder so much
yeah.
in here.
Well, yeah, I mean, the movie is like kind of making fun of, DC movies that they were making, like the Dawn of the Seven.
Yeah.
There's so many great moments about this season. I was going to say fucking something.
Also, isn't it weird? You heard about the Ray Fisher situation, the person that played Cyborg?
Yeah.
It's similar to A-Train when he had his part with the director. Remember that? Bro, it's just weird.
I just thought about that. That's for sure intentional.
Yeah, but this soon?
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, that's
because they definitely shot it before all the drama was going down.
Yeah, unless they heard about what happened in the.
Maybe they knew. Yeah, maybe. I mean, because they're all like Hollywood insiders, so they probably knew why the movie was so crazy.
Yeah,
they probably took inspiration from that. But the thing I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I want to touch on this too. The best superhero show ever, for me. It was always Daredevil.
All right,
I always thought. Especially, I mean, for me, it was always Daredevil. That was, like, to me, the best superhero show. It was, like, one of those shows that felt, like, grounded in, like, a good TV show. But The Boys, I mean, has fully surpassed Daredevil. I mean, and you made a poll. You were like, The Umbrella Academy, Doom Patrol, and then The Boys.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Doom Patrol yet. But I did see the first season of The Umbrella Academy. I think... if you're looking for superhero shit, I don't think The Boys is the best show for that. Because it's not really a superhero show.
Yeah, I can see
it's a show with superheroes in it. If you want some superhero comic book shit, Doom Patrol and The Umbrella Academy really give you that, right?
Yeah, they do.
They're like fun and they're crazy and they're unique. But if you're actually looking for a quality show, regardless of what it's about, I think The Boys blows them out of the water.
Do you include Watchmen too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think even that first season of The Watchmen, I think, I do. Because I think that one was too weird. We got to think about it. I mean, have you rewatched the show? Or thought about it? It's a weird show.
Yeah, I agree.
It's weird. I mean, the whole, like, Ozymandias shit, just that alone, it's like... it's not bad. I love that it's that unique.
Right, but other people not gonna.
Man, come on. And that's the thing that I'm realizing about The Boys too, bro. This show is a hit with women, which I think is very interesting. It has, I don't know why, but I feel like women. I think they have certain elements that like fangirls are loving the show. Like, I don't know if you know about this, but apparently like a lot of the women fans that were watching Supernatural are now transferring to The Boys.
No, that makes sense because the producers from
same guy, right? Yeah. It's the same guy, so I guess it's the same type of show. But it's just interesting because I mean, if you think about like those certain superhero shows, they're definitely not for the common, let's say, woman. You know what I mean? They will see like, okay, this is some comic book superhero shit. Yeah. Women like actually love the show, and I'm trying to think, why do you think women love this show?
Well, I think because they have like a lot of like
representation.
Yeah, representation. And yeah, pretty people representation, and
I think the lovey-dovey aspect.
yeah, in the
of
level
it,
of the aspect
with Huey and Starlight. I
Yeah.
think that's a big deal. I don't know, bro. I think this show. I think there's something about this show. This show, if season 3 continues to be as good, this could be one of the best shows in TV. Period. I think this show is doing a lot of crazy. It's almost like underrated. It's almost like unexpected because when you first see the first season or you hear about what this premise is, it was like, oh, it's a shock show, right? It's like the most violent show you could ever watch with superheroes, right? That's what you think. But as season 2 came out, you know, people are saying they like season 1 better, and I totally understand that because it's probably more shocking and more shit happened.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people say that.
I think season 2 is way better because it's doing so many things that people aren't realizing. Like, it's doing a lot of things under the hood. Like I said, the character development, it's incredible. The emotion, right? Like, you getting to know these characters and, like, crying when you see Becca dying. Like, I think this show, this season, even though not as much shit happened, I think they did that. I saw a headline, a review said, instead of the show going bigger, it went deeper. And I think that's a perfect way to describe it, I think. With all the characters, it developed damn near all the characters. The character arcs are perfect. The way it ends, it's like emotional, shocking. I think, yeah,
Bro.
I'm just really impressed with the show.
Bro,
man.
it's a 20-hour movie.
It
I
is.
always, like,
It
I
is.
put season 1 and 2 mixed together.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Because they got the world building, they got the characters set up in the first season, and then they fully gone on blast to the second season.
I think, yeah.
So they were able to go deep to these
For
characters
sure. I
and
think-
all that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you think about how season 1 ended, there was no closure, bro.
No, they weren't.
The only thing, because I mean, think about because I recently like kind of rewatch because I'm watching the show with my sister and I'm halfway through season 2 with her now.
Right.
But when I saw the ending of the first season, nothing happened. The only thing that happened is that he lasered Madeline Stillwell,
Yeah.
right? And then he wakes up and sees the Becca, and those are the big twists. It's like, oh shit, that's crazy. But in terms of like satisfying anything, it was not satisfying at all. It was a way. I think people are too stuck on. I don't know. Here's what it is, bro. I think this show in season 2 outgrew the superhero term or the superhero like
It elevated.
it elevated way past just a superhero show,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of people who are superhero show fans were probably like, okay, this isn't a superhero show anymore. Now it's just a legitimately good show. It's a fucking great show.
Right.
So I think that's been the biggest difference, and I think it's very smart that they are kind of. And I mean, even the way the show's coming out, right? Which did you were you mad at the fact that it was like a weekly thing now?
At first, I was like, but then I was like, they're smart to do it week by week because now people are watching it and it's trending on Twitter every
It's
Friday.
Yes, I think that is single-handedly the reason why the show's as big as it is now. It's
Yeah.
because of the weekly thing, right? The weekly discussion. Like at the end of season, the episode 7, all the fucking heads blow up. Are
Right.
you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Bro, I gotta wait a week to find out what the fuck is going on, and now I'm like fucking fiending. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is like, you know, this shit, and now you're excited for the season finale, and that anticipation base, also with the fact that it's as good as it is, it's like, it mixed together so well, and it's, yeah.
It has the potential to be big as Game of Thrones.
That's, yes, and that's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to get at. I think it does. Season 2 proved that, right? Like with the emotion, with the action, obviously, with the surprises, with the twists, with the violence, like it can. And I think if the show would have stayed in the lane that season 1 was, where it was just like a shocking, you know, violent, shocking superhero show, it was like, you know, trying to take down superheroes. It was pretty smart, but still, it all came out in a week. There is no fucking way it could be as big as it is now. But now when you got us, you know, fucking crying when you see Becca dying, like, think about, that's one of the things about like superhero shows that I think I don't see a lot. Do you get often emotional when you watch superhero shit?
Probably the closest is Daredevil, probably.
Yeah, I don't.
And Watchmen, but
But just in general, when you watch, was there a moment where you almost cried? Doom Patrol.
Probably not. No.
What about The Umbrella Academy?
Not
because those shows are fun.
Not like this. No,
That's what I'm saying,
not like
because
this.
those shows I don't think go deep. They're fun.
Yeah.
And they're entertaining to watch, and they're, they stay true to the comics, because a lot of superhero comic books are fun, like a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I just think this show, it's not a superhero show anymore, and you can't look at it that way. It's way more sophisticated. It's way more, smart about it. I don't know. Is Supernatural this good?
I never watched Supernatural,
but I think a lot of people are gonna start watching Supernatural now, because apparently the show is good. And ran for is about to end in its 12th season.
Yeah, one of the main actors is about to join.
Jensen Ackles. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
Did you learn about all that shit? I'm so excited to see that. I mean, do you know like 2 main characters that are coming to season 3? Oh fuck.
Damn, bro.
Like the 2 main characters that are coming to season 3 that I can't wait to see their dynamic is Soldier Boy and Tech Knight. Do you know about Tech Knight?
No, I haven't heard about Tech Knight.
Supposed to be like Iron Man / Batman.
So they got Captain America and Iron Man.
Right. Basically, so by Iron Man / Batman, it's just Tech Knight, he doesn't have superpowers.
All right.
Just his money is what makes him that way. Because, I mean, you thought Black Noir was kind of the Batman of this universe, you know what I mean? But he still has superpowers, obviously. But I think it's going to be so fun to see a billionaire superhero like Iron Man. Like, how wild would they go with like an Iron Man type character in this show? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, Iron Man is already pretty edgy in the Marvel universe, right? It's like has strippers and money. Like that's edgy. Yeah. That's edgy for Marvel. Like, what the fuck are they gonna do with that kind of character in the Boys universe? And then Soldier Boy, yeah, it's like a Captain America, like the first real superhero, like Homelander before Homelander. But apparently, he's also gonna be like, he's gonna be like out of touch. He's not gonna be as racist as Stormfront, but he's gonna be as racist as you would expect somebody from the 40s to be.
Oh, okay.
You know, like those old people that aren't really racist, but they're racist because they just grew up with this certain like
so
stereotypes.
They're like prejudice.
Yeah, more prejudice than racist.
Yeah,
like say, oh, like like they just don't know any better,
right?
Like as opposed to like hate towards black people, they're just like have this certain idea of black people,
right?
And they're probably gonna play with that. That's what Soldier Boy is supposed to be. And in the video that I saw, to end this really quickly, because now we've gone for over an hour. Gotcha. The other thing that's interesting is that there's gonna be a hero-gasm. Did you hear about this?
No.
Supposed to be like the way he said it too, because he did a Q&A, and the way he said it, like I imagine like all their fans went wild because he did this announcement. It was like, and just so you guys know, for next season, the hero-gasm is coming. Almost like this is the craziest shit in the fucking world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, But apparently, this is a getaway, like a week-long getaway where all superheroes go. It's like spring break for superheroes.
Oh, okay.
And apparently there you see like the wildest sexual shit you could ever imagine.
Oh.
So I guess they're gonna go for it in terms of like if you thought fucking Homelander jacking off in front of the moon was too crazy, he's saying like hero-gasm is like 100 times worse. It's like orgies of like apparently, like I said, spring break for superheroes. Just that idea is fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like that's such a great idea. But yeah, this show definitely has the potential to be a Game of Thrones because, like I said, it has crossover appeal. Like I feel like some people may be put off by the violence, but I think the thing that's so good about the show, it has all these. It's almost like the 4 quadrant shit, right? The Game of Thrones had. They had like why did Game of Thrones become so big? You think?
I think because of the violence.
Violence.
Yeah, because of the women in the show.
Women.
Because of the plot, of course.
Plot, obviously, yeah, very good plot.
Right.
And it's
memeable.
Meme. Oh yeah, for sure. and I think it's just it became an event.
Right.
Anything that wants to become big anymore, you have to become an event, and you can't become an event when you release something all at once, and then people are, they don't feel pressured because certain people finish the show already in a day. People are gonna take 5 months to finish it. Nobody's in the same place, so then it's not gonna become an event, right? Like that's why you see Stranger Things struggling. Interesting point I found out is like Stranger Things season 3 had way less buzz than The Boys has now.
Yeah.
that's crazy to think about it, because when the Stranger Things first came out, everybody was talking about
Yeah,
it.
everybody loved Stranger Things the first season.
And that's the danger of a weekly thing. So, like, these corporations are starting to realize, it's like, do we want, like, the fans to be happy, or do we want to increase the fan base? The only way to increase it is by it becoming an event. And that's why Game of Thrones became so big, because if everybody's talking about Game of Thrones, right? Like on Sunday nights, it's like you see it trending every week. Like you saw The Boys, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what the fuck is going on? What's this? What the fuck is this Game of Thrones? You see everybody, and then you were like FOMO. You're like, I want to be in it. I want to be in this party.
Right.
That's how it becomes big, and I think The Boys is definitely in the right place. And most importantly, I think another thing that people are saying is a good thing. The characters are great. Like, you love the characters, right? Like, you love a Butcher, as fucked up as he is. I mean, you love Butcher, Frenchie, Mother's Milk, Huey, Kamiko, Starlight.
Everybody
Maeve.
loves Homelander, even though he evil.
I don't think there's a bad character in this show.
No. There's no bad character.
That's how you make a fucking... I think at this point, any sort of project, you need to have characters people love. Because people are now invested in that rather than just the violence or whatever. Right. So I think that's what it is. Who do you think is going to be the first boy to die?
I'm going to do a hot take and say Huey.
Yeah. I can definitely see that, but I'm going to disagree only because of my theory that I know is 100% right. That's why I'll disagree, but I could totally see that for sure. I could totally see that. I think Kamiko's going to die first out of the boys. No, Starlight is going to die first.
Starlight?
Yes. Out of the boys, Starlight.
All right, what makes you say that?
I don't know. No reason. Just guess. I mean, I just think that's gonna give Huey some motivation, and I think that's what's gonna unlock. To be honest, here we go. I'm morphing the theory now again. It's not gonna be Huey trying to save Starlight. It's gonna be Huey getting attached to Starlight, Homelander possibly killing Starlight, and then Huey being so angry that he unleashes his powers. There it is, folks. There it fucking is. I figured out the end of the show. Imagine Huey fucking going Vegeta like fucking Goku. Like, I'm over 9,000. Like, fucking flames everywhere, and that's how he gets his powers. But alright, I gotta end this shit because I have class in like 30 minutes and I fucking totally forgot. This was a great episode. Literally just a The Boys Season 2 review, which is hilarious. With some Kanye West rants thrown in there. But to be honest, I didn't think I was going to talk about this show for this long. I thought we were going to talk about like other shit, like the NBA. Like I brought up in the earlier.
Oh,
like, yeah. I wanted to talk about I wanted to like diversify the topics because I have to make clips out of this shit.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of did.
I did. I talked about other stuff. That's true. White women, Kanye West, Taylor Swift. Yeah, for sure. That was a wild rant.
That was wild.
Those 15 minutes in there. That was for the people who probably haven't seen The Boys. If you haven't seen The Boys, that's gonna be the thing that you're gonna want to get to. That was the one thing that you enjoyed. I mean, but if you listened, we just spoiled all of The Boys.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, so make sure you watch The Boys.
But you already watched it.
Yeah,
you already got spoiled.
Yeah, exactly. I already got spoiled. I mean, fuck it. Even if you got spoiled, just watch it still. Dion, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. This was a very fun episode. I'm definitely going to have you back to just in general. You know what I mean? I want to have you in an episode to learn more about you because I don't know shit about you, bro. Today I just learned you're half fucking Cherokee. So that's the first time I've even heard about that. I need to get... Because, I mean, guys don't really get to know each other like that, if you think about it.
No, we just say what's up. And
we just talk about whatever, and we just be cool, right? Like, you wouldn't really like, yo, bro, how are you doing, bro? How are you feeling? Like, we don't do that shit. Yeah. But this was a great episode. We talked about The Boys, one of my favorite shows right now, for sure. I'm going to link all your shit on the description of this episode, so make sure you guys follow him and all that shit. I don't even know how to end this episode. I mean, usually I try to get, like, segments and shit, but, I mean... because I don't want to be awkward about it. Like, what I'm going to do, thank you guys for listening. Like, I don't want to do that. But I don't know. How do we end it? What should we do?
Eagles coming on Sunday. Go Eagles. I don't know.
Fuck the Eagles. That's how I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it with this. Anybody who is excited for the Eagles should just stop. Stop, bro. Let me tell you. Listen, let me tell you. Fuck the Eagles. Here's why I say fuck the Eagles. The Eagles are not getting anywhere this season. They weren't getting anywhere last season. They weren't getting. Listen, the Eagles are gonna go through another fucking 20-year drought. That's my prediction.
All right, you're going too far.
No,
you
bro. I can see it. They're trying to replicate the magic that was that 2017, 18. I don't remember.
That was 2018.
2018 when they won the Super Bowl. Now what? It's been 2 years, and you guys want to go back again? It's almost like they're greedy at this point. It was so, bro. The magic when the Eagles won. Think back on it, bro. That was beautiful, right?
Bro.
That was gorgeous.
That was my first year at Temple too. When
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can really imagine. I mean, that was so such a magical moment in Philadelphia history. It's not gonna happen for 20 years. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's that's just the luck that the Eagles have, bro. No, they're not going anywhere. Well, how do you see the Eagles winning in the next 5?
Well,
especially with the way they're playing now. Look, anytime I see the Eagles, I'm like, I saw this one guy that was he predicted the Eagles were gonna go 0-16. Or some shit that was talking shit like Eagles podcast. It was like they were gonna go 0-16, and I was like, yeah. I mean, I don't it's just not in the cards. Right?
People are injured. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
Their best guard, Brandon Graham, got injured.
Bro.
I mean, not Brandon Graham, Brandon Brooks.
Yeah.
He got injured.
They're gonna keep getting injured. The quarterback is looking like ass.
Shoot, man.
Like ass. Like he was. I mean, by the way, he wasn't even the quarterback that won the Super Bowl.
No, it's Nick Foles.
What the fuck are you talking about? As good as he is, he didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So why the fuck are we expecting him to take y'all to the Super Bowl? It's not going to happen. I'm sorry to say. He didn't do it last year because he got injured. This year, he's probably going to get injured again. Hopefully not. But even if he doesn't, the best thing that can happen for him is get injured. You know why? Because if he doesn't get injured and doesn't take out to the Super Bowl, it's like, okay, what the fuck did we see in this guy? He was winning regular season games, then he got injured, and then Nick Foles took over and won us. And then we haven't been back since. Yeah, I just don't think he has it.
Yeah.
Ertz, nobody. It's not. I mean, I'm sorry. The superstars that we have in this team were not the reason we won the fucking Super Bowl. So I don't know why the fuck you're expecting them to be the reason we win another one. It's my point, and that's how I'm gonna end this fucking episode right there. I'm sorry, Dion. I just had to go off. I've been seeing all these people root for the Eagles. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Why? It's not gonna happen. Be grateful that we even I'm not even that big of an Eagles fan. I'm like, obviously, I'm from Philadelphia, right? I'm like, I got that pride. It's like we fucking won 2018 against the Patriots. That's crazy.
That was the greatest time.
It's such a crazy thing to think about. Let's grab onto that memory and keep it with us for the next 20 years because now we're not having that memory again. All right, I just had to go that little round.
All right, and praise to Dak Prescott, even though I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah, that was messing up.
Especially now during negotiations, it's rough.
Fuck Jerry Jones.
Yeah, that's ended in that. Fuck Jerry Jones. All right, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I'll catch you guys next week for episode 93 or 94. I don't know which one it is. Bye.